like a very happy song.
Yeah.
Like, makes you want to like go down the yellow brick road or something like that.
It's very summery to me, like a little kid's
Yeah.
summer. Like walking his new
sunflowers and
puppy.
stuff, right?
Yeah, he's walking his new puppy down the road, and he's a happy little boy, and the
Yeah.
puppy's all happy with the floppy ears. That's what I picture.
Pretty descriptive.
But I have a very wild imagination. So, so anyways, Joe, I almost didn't make it on time. Like I literally was running. Normally I'm the first one on here before Joe is.
True, I was here first.
For the first time, Joe is here first, but it goes in line with what we're going to talk about today. I was talking on the phone with a referral that I was referring to another agent in another city. And I was on the phone for them for a while, and I hate to like, I got to go. but I was like, I just have to go. But, the thing is that when you start building your channel and you start getting more and more calls, you're going to end up finding people that really do need help with a real estate agent, but you can't help them in your area. Even if you have a local channel, like, let me just put it, for instance, say you are in Atlanta, Georgia, right? And you're just talking about Atlanta. Atlanta's a huge city, and you probably don't cover every single aspect or area of Atlanta. You have a certain section of Atlanta. So you're going to want to have a referral network built up of agents that you trust. And that's what this is all about. So if you have any questions during the stream about building your referral network, you can ask that. And of course, this is all about YouTube, so you can ask those questions as well. I will tell you, we just got done too with our students from the Real Estate Video Geeks course. They just finished week 1. If you were thinking about it and you were on the fence, you still can join and be a part of the group. We're just jumping into week 2. So, All right, Joe, have at it.
So what do you think about this new time for this? I kind of like this.
This is good, because I'm going to be honest with everybody. A lot of times our course work with our students would go into like 2 hours. So we would get done sometimes my time 7:30 at night. So we'd be like, one time it was like 2.5 hours. I'm like, I'm done. I'm checked out. Like I can't even talk anymore.
Eyes are like glazed over.
It was glazed over. So we've separated it now, and we've moved our students to 3:00 when we would have normally done the live stream. And now we've moved this to 6:00, which is really good for you guys, because while you're cooking dinner and riding home from work, whatever, you can turn this on and have a listen. It might take a little bit for everybody to get adjusted, but I think it's a really good time for everybody.
I do. I think so as well. I think it's kind of like what you said. The class before is more, we're really kind of diving deep. We're talking about certain things, helping, and that's more like you really have to put it together. And then this is more like, hey, ask the questions, do some channel reviews, talk about whatever we want to talk about, and provide value and help our people out there that are trying to grow on YouTube, that are trying to get their businesses, trying to get referrals. But again, it's one of those that it's a little bit more of a relaxed setting where people can, they driving home, they could put it on their TV, watch it while they're making dinner, like all that kind of stuff. Or, I don't usually make dinner, so it'd be like watching while I eat dinner.
I since I am the main cook in the house, I actually pre-breaded all the pork chops. My daughter's boyfriend, he actually is in culinary school, so he cut up all the potatoes for mashed potatoes, and they're frying it all up, and it's all pre-made. All they have to do is put all the rest of it together, but it's already done. So
that's awesome.
But at least this can get done, and then we can go eat dinner. But I want to talk about the referral thing. So if anybody has a channel, you have the opportunity for referrals, whether you're doing local or not. So the first thing I'm going to tell you, if you are going to do this and you want to have referrals, I want you to have a tab on your website that says, find me a realtor, find me a referral realtor, find me a friend, or something like that. So it makes it very easy. So you can put that in your channel description, find me a realtor. And then that way, when they click on that link, it goes automatically to a form that they have to fill out so they can connect with you.
Yeah. I think a lot of people getting people to reach out and getting people to fill out the information. I wonder if, some people think, it's not worth putting a link. It's not worth putting that there. But the reality is people do go there and they will find it. And especially if you're providing value, that they've been watching you and they've been learning what you've been teaching, they feel like they already know you. So now it's like, hey, I'm going to reach out and just ask them
if they know anybody.
Yeah. Do you know anyone or whatever? And if you're giving good content and you have good calls to action, letting them know that you do work with a lot of great agents around the country, then it becomes even easier. But without fail, when they do call and you call them back, most times they're like, I can't believe you're calling me. Like you have time to talk to me. It's kind of like the reverse of like what an online lead is. It's totally backwards.
Oh, and I love it because they always buy. All the referrals always buy, and then the agents that you end up working with end up loving you because they're like, yeah, send me more, because they're hot leads.
Yeah.
So Sandra has a really good question. It says, hello, my first question is, do you ask the agents you interview to make sure they will take care of your referrals? Absolutely. And I also have the referrals on a CRM. So I'm like sending them a referral, like, how are things going with your search with, fill in blank here, like I have them. So I'm always in communication with the referrals via email. Once I've talked to them on the phone once, I don't typically talk to them again unless they have called me again to ask me a question about the process of them buying or selling your house. But normally I talk to them that one time, I connect them with that agent, and then I will send out a email once every, I think it's every month, at the end of the month, every 30 days, just to see where they are in the process. And then, like I'll even ask the question, like, have you bought a home yet? Have you seen anything else out there? Or have you picked a new area? So it makes it seem more conversational and
more conversational, but it also helps so that like when you do send those referrals, that the referring agent isn't like, I just like close that and, forgot to mention it, because sometimes that stuff happens. And so having those systems in place where it's not just with the agent, but with the person that you referred, because it also is like, hey, I'm interested. I'm making sure that you're getting taken care of. And then it also lets you know, hey, who do you work with? Those people that you work with, it matters. And a lot of people, especially when they get referrals that are hot like that, like they take care of them because they want more. They
love you.
Yeah.
They love you.
Yeah. They're like, hey, I'm going to do whatever I can because you're going to help me become, like increase my numbers. And so that's what I think is super powerful about it, is because but it is hard, like, because if you're going across the country, sometimes you're like, I don't really know. So like when that happens, what do you do?
Well, if you're looking for agents, is that what you mean?
That's what I mean. Like when you're looking for agents as the agent referring, what is your process on that?
Well, for me, what I do is I go within my company, and then it's an interview process. So early on, when back in 2019, before the pandemic, I already was starting to build up a database just to find other agents in other areas. So what I was doing was we have something called Workplace. I was going on Workplace, finding top agents and asking them, are they willing to work with referrals, and would they be a referral partner? And some agents, like the personality was not a match, and I'd say, okay, thank you, and then I never put them in my book, right? But I was asking if they were willing, and then there was a whole other interview process, like, like, how many transactions did you do this year? What kind of systems do you use? And then I would give them like a scenario, like, oh, have you ever worked with a buyer who wanted a piece of land and then they wanted to build like a modular home or manufactured home on it later on? Or, have you ever worked with anybody that wants to buy a house that has wants to put an ADU in the backyard? Like those were the kind of questions I asked them. Some agents, if they were like, well, what's an ADU? That was it. I was done.
You're like, well, you answered my question. I'm definitely not going to be sending it to you.
I would continue. Like I would make a whole list of questions that you would ask for the content that you create. So like, if you think about it, the kind of content I make is for people that are looking for affordable housing options. A lot of them are looking for pieces of land. A lot of them are looking for manufactured housing. A lot of them are looking for modular homes. So
ADUs, like all that.
ADUs. Like they're buying a house and they want a multifamily house for many generations and they want to put an ADU in the backyard. So I tailored my questions to the content I created to interview the agents. And that's what you should be doing too, because those are the kind of people that are going to be coming to you. Now, that isn't to say that's all you're going to get, because I've had investors that want to buy lots of houses. They just so happen to like the way I deliver information about what's happening in the housing market. And they bought millions and millions of dollars worth of properties. So, you're not limiting yourself by doing it that way.
Right.
But I would start like really tailoring your questions for the agents that you interview, for, exactly what the content you make. The other thing too is, if you happen to work at a very small, like boutique type of brokerage, and you don't have that network of people, don't worry. You can literally go to any Facebook page under the sun and just post, hey, I'm looking to build my referral network. Would you be interested in being in my referral network? DM me, right?
Yep.
And then you're going to get a flood. You're going to get so many. And then I ask them, what area are they in? You know what? And if you want to make that simplify it, say, I'm looking for people in XYZ state. And what I'll tell you, what I'll tell you right away is look for the major cities first. So you're going to want to do Atlanta, Miami, Orlando, New York, Los Angeles, like those major cities. Get an agent there first and get a good agent that you really like, right? So once you're connected with those agents that you really like in those major cities, they're going to connect you with other people that they know in their network, the ones that can close the deal.
Because they're well connected in that area, and then it kind of bleeds out from there, so that you have a referral from a referral. So
Well, here's a good question. What are you typically asking for a referral fee? So I'm cheap. It depends on the referral, but most of the time I'm only asking for 20%. Sometimes I ask for 25%, but it's because I get a lot and I don't, the extra 5%, whatever. And I know they're doing all the legwork. I know that they're working their tails off to find, especially during the pandemic. A lot of times they were showing them, 23 houses and they kept getting outbid, and every time they're putting in gas in their car and everything, I felt bad, I felt really bad. So I don't mind. 20% is what I do. I had one agent one time that was like, you told me 15%. I said, go ahead and put 15% down. I took her right off my list because I've never, ever, ever, ever done it for 15%. Never would.
That's the one thing I think that people forget, is that when you create good content and you have people watching your content and you have good views and you get good leads, that's a source of income that can always give. And you kill that goose that lays the golden egg when you cross someone that's like, hey, I'm willing to give you, if your job, if you like going out and working the referrals and stuff, and you're doing, then that's what you like to do. The last thing you want to do is take someone that's like, hey, I'm providing a bunch of leads for you. And these aren't just like, you got to work them forever, and at the last minute when they come into town, you don't happen to be there, they end up just going with someone else. These people are dedicated. They're ready to buy, and they've been recommended. So now they're there to go. So that is with referrals from other types of internet leads. That's really, really rare. And so to me, it would make no sense to cut that relationship up. I would want to make sure that I was like, whatever you want, Kristina, if you if you're sending this stuff to me, I'm going to make sure that they have the best experience, because I know that I'm going to get more and more of those leads.
I will tell you this. I used to send referrals out to one specific agent, and I thought they were going to this person. And it just so happened he pretty much was doing what I did. He would take those and just hand them out to people in their office. And I had handed him a ton and never got one referral check. So then one time I called him up and I'm like, hey, I need in this area. Do you have somebody? He's like, I'm like, do you work that area? And he's like, yeah, I work that area. I'm like, do you work that area or you have somebody in your office work that area? Oh, I give these to people in my office. I'm like, that's why you haven't closed anything. He was like, oh, no. I'm like, no, I've been giving you a lot. And like, not one of them is closed. So something's amiss. Oh, this market's crazy. I'm like, no. I'm like, I've sent them a lot of different places. So he got off my list. And don't be afraid to fire somebody. That happened here with a local agent in my area. I had to let her go because I'm like, how is it that it's impossible? And then I found the agent who every single one that I give her, every single one closes, every single one. So
Just
I'm like,
got to tell you.
Yeah, I got 13 to close with the agent, like that. It was my new agent. And then the other one never closed any of them. And I sent her over 25. And then come to find out, this is sometimes agents can be sneaky. Come to find out, this is that some of them did close, but she never paid me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Karma is a thing. And I'm just going to let that go. Like never again.
That's why it's good to follow up, right? Not just with the agent, but with the person that you referred. Hey, how did they take care of you? What was your experience?
That's why I have the CRM. So it's at like the 6-month mark. And I'm like, haven't heard from you in a while. I just wanted to touch base with you. Have you closed on your house yet? That's one of the emails that comes in. And then always they respond to that one. They may not respond to the other 6 that I sent, but that one they respond to. And then it gives me some information. There's people that will come and go. But most agents are really, really good, you know, especially if you've done that interview process ahead of time and you have your list of questions ready for them ahead of time. And if you're anticipating to like really dive into YouTube now, even if you have a local channel, it does not hurt to go ahead and build up that referral business now, like that whole pipeline now. So that way, when that comes along and somebody calls you, you go, yep, I absolutely do. And and this is what I do too. Because sometimes they'll call me on the phone. I have them saved in my phone as the state that in the city that they're in. So it would be like Mary Jones, Atlanta, Georgia, Roswell, Alpharetta, Norcross, right? So it's all of her areas. So if somebody was called to say, do you have anybody in Norcross?
You can search it really quick.
Hold on 1 second. And I look right in my contacts. I just type in the word Norcross and there it is. Oh yeah, I have Angie over there in Norcross. She can take care of you, She's a good friend of mine.
Right. And Angie's going to be like, yeah, absolutely. Because like you're sending her those leads. And I think that, so like the questions really, I mean, if you've done any kind of referral business, it's the same questions. It's all the same stuff. It's just following up, making sure that they know, so it's not rocket science, but you definitely want to make sure that you take the time to really interview them and then 100% keep track of who you're referring so that you can follow up with them. And 2, so that you can find that, hey, is this person closing? Maybe they're not a very good buyer's agent and they just, maybe they're not able to close. And so you want to have, especially if you're sending it to the same area, you want to have some different people that you can refer, but ultimately, like the goal is to help your clients. And if you're connecting with the right agents, most agents, I think, do a really good job of really trying to take care of their clients. Even the ones that are referred over, I think that they try even more because there's a little bit more on the line of like, hey, I don't want to let this person down.
Right. I will say this though, like be very mindful that there are companies out there that says we'll take care of your referrals. Do not do that.
No.
Do not do that.
Relocation companies, stay away from them.
Well, I'm going to tell you the other thing too, is that I know several YouTubers that have this service. They hired a company or have hired companies like this. The thing is that the level of care that's going to go into taking care of these people is not there. Nope. You're so hands off. You have no idea who these people are. If they, like you end up getting the check or whatever, but it isn't the same as you picking up the phone, calling that person saying, hey, I saw you filled out the form on my website. They're so excited that you were actually talking to them. That 20-minute interaction will get them to close. Will get them to close because they trusted you to reach out. You actually personally took the time to give them a call and speak to them. Then they have those, then you connect them with your friend in Atlanta. And now they trust that agent too. There's no weirdness with that agent. They already like, well, oh, I just love Kristina. Thank goodness. I'm so glad she got me in touch with you, and like, they're excited to work with that person.
Yeah.
You take that extra effort, you're going to have a lot more closings from those referrals. If you give it to a company, it's like you've actually pretty much thrown about 50% of your referrals down the toilet.
Yeah. And it's not any harder to interview, agents around, especially with all the Facebook groups and everything there. Like
Correct.
you can build your referral network pretty much anywhere. And, I think that's the other thing is, like, if you really want to get down to it, like, as you're searching them out and they're saying, pick me, you can go in and act as if you're a client and go read the reviews, see what people are saying about them. Like, there's lots of ways that you can find out if it's someone that's going to work with you even after you've had the conversation. But I've found that, like, for the most part, when you do have these referral conversations, I don't know about you, but like, I can kind of get a sense just talking on the phone with them, like, if they're going to be someone that's going to be good working with or not, just by how they answer questions.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then, it's kind of like when you get a deal, right? When you get a deal and then somebody brings, oh, I brought you an offer, and just the way that their mannerisms on the phone, their cadence, their voice, instantaneously, like, this person's a boob, or this person knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Or this one's like just an ass.
Yeah.
I'm going to show something to you guys. And this is what we use in Malcolm and I's group, the real estate mastermind group, the YouTube real estate mastermind. And this is Referral Cloud. They have a whole map where you can go ahead and find agents that are in Atlanta. So let's just put in Atlanta. Let's just put in the city. So they already have a YouTube channel. So then the referral can even check out their channel as well. And, don't look at everybody else's channel as what? Competition.
Yeah.
They're collaborators. So look, there's a little tab right here that says YouTube, and you can find see, Jacob Abbott is a YouTube agent. You can, so any area you want, you can just find an agent that is on YouTube. Gainesville, Florida. Let's try that. Let's see. Oh, it's not letting me do this. Hold on. But anyways, like, you can, like, there's other agents too. So just like use this. This is really good. Look, there's Logan. So just use this. This is a great way to interview agents. And not only that, like, if you're even afraid to reach out to them, go look at their YouTube channel. See if they seem like a boob on their YouTube channel. So that's just one way you can find some agents outside your area in metro cities that you start building up your referral database of agents.
Yeah. Keith asked another question. Does your referral agreement only include the direct referral, or include business that they bring to the agent after the fact, i.e. their family members, or move to the area and use as a referral agent? I don't do that.
I don't do that. That's
like saying, hey, I'm going to give it to me in perpetuity. Like, if I give you one lead, like, now
I'm not that greedy or desperate. Like, I shouldn't need a check that bad that I have to, like, it's just for this client, for this transaction. That's it.
But if that person says, hey, I've been watching Kristina, and then they talk to Kristina, or they reach out and then she does it and then refers it again, that's a whole new paperwork. That's a totally different thing.
Right. So, and I've done that too. Like, I helped a mom that was moving to Seattle, Washington, and then her daughter called me up and wanted to move to Seattle, Washington as well. And then I'm like, okay. And then the daughter ended up didn't move to Seattle. She ended up moving another place. And then I ended up finding her another agent outside of that. So that was two separate forms. That was two separate agents. But if her daughter had called up the same agent as her mom did, that would have been different. As a matter of fact, I found her a different agent because she said, I don't want to work with her because she's like my mom's age. I want to work with a younger agent. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
I have someone there that I can work with.
Yep.
The other thing too, I think, is that, there's a misconception that you have to have like a really big channel and that you have to have all kinds of views in order to get referrals. And that's just simply not the case. I mean, you
No.
obviously need to get views, but there's certain ways where you can get people to interact with you and to want to work with you. And that's the content that you deliver. I think at the end of the day, like everything that you do should be geared towards your viewer and helping them through the pain point that they have or whatever it is. And that's why they're so loyal, because a lot of them are watching for a while before they ever reach out and say, hey, I'm ready to buy now. It's not like, oh, they watched a 5-minute video and then they're like, yep, I'm ready. It's something that they're kind of, we call them lurkers. They've been around, they're watching, they don't really comment on anything, don't really say anything, but then all of a sudden they take action. And the action is they're ready to buy. And that's what's awesome about it, is so you can kind of work, you're making the content anyways. So now it's like it's working for you as you're sleeping or as you're doing the other things. It's continually out there prospecting.
So back in 2019, when I went to Vid Summit for the very first time, I was sitting there and I was listening to all the information. And that's when I realized, oh, I need to build a referral network. So that in October, that's when I started that interview process. Who knew that like my referral base was going to, go absolutely nuts because of the pandemic. But I was so glad that I did that then. I was like, I was already prepared. I felt like the universe prepared me 5 months ahead of time. The only thing I didn't have, which I ended up getting later down the road, and I wish that I had it sooner, was I had a very, very, very simple website that people could fill out. Like it was so simple. And I would tell everybody, I recommend to everybody, simplify your websites. And when you have a million pop-ups and you got chat bots that are just like waste of time and they know they're talking to a robot. So stop those, like all that stuff. Clean up your websites, make it very simple so you can do exactly what you want them to do, which is reach out to you.
And that's kind of the opposite of what everybody's told and what everybody's sold, right? Is that you have to have the IDX, you have to have all of these things, you have to have, a chat bot, and it's got to be an AI chat bot, and you have to have like all of these things. And really what it comes down to is if you're providing good content and you're really helping people understand something that you're an expert in, then they're going to want to reach out to you. And what human nature is what's the path of least resistance? Like, how do we get there? Super simple, super easy. One click. There's the information. Fill out the information. That's very simple and send. That's it. Two buttons.
Yep. When you take them to 70,000 pages, or they can get distracted by, links or other YouTube videos or blog posts and everything, then they may never reach out.
Yeah, they might not even do it.
I had a very complicated, overly ridiculous WordPress site, with all these things I had to update all the time and everything else. And I mean, it's still out there. I don't know why the freaking domain will not transfer over. But my new website is literally two things. Either you can fill it out to get a referral, or you want to collaborate. That's it. Done. Done. Because I mean, if they want to go look at properties, everybody looks on Zillow. Go look on Zillow. Go look on realtor.com. Just because it's on my website doesn't make it any more special. Yeah. And they know that you don't like. At one point, and back in the day, they thought, oh yeah, these are all the listings from that particular brokerage. Well, they know better now. They know everybody. Make it simple.
It's evolved. Everyone, they're smarter. They understand the internet a lot better. They understand searching better. So, and like, honestly, when's the last time one of your clients sent you a link from your own website? It's always like from Zillow or realtor.com or one of the major, sites that has that data. So really,
right. Well, my KV Core used to do really good though.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. That KV Core was pretty good.
But also like Facebook used to be great too, right? Like with ads and stuff. So, but everything kind of like evolves. But it, like, I guess what we're saying is simpler is better, especially on YouTube when you're trying to get a referral or trying to get a lead like that.
Mhm.
It's going to be, I know it seems counterintuitive and it's like, oh, I should have all these cool, flashy things. It's like, no, it's like just simple picture with your information and a way for them to contact you. You've already done the hard work because they've been following you, watching your videos. And if you have a little place where they can put a message, most of them be like, oh, you don't know me, but I've been watching your content for a while. And like, I'm moving here in this time and I would love for you to help me. And by the way, the tips that you gave on X amount or this video, such and such video, like totally like explained it so much better than anyone I've talked to. Could you help me? Like that stuff is real.
Yep, it is very real. And I'm going to explain the whole like website thing is that people right now, no, even if they're not busy, they feel very busy and pressured for time.
Yeah.
So if they're going to take that next step to reach out to you, don't make that next step difficult, because if you make it difficult, then they're not going to click on anything. They're going to look at that website, they're going to see all that stuff, and they'll be like, how do you even get a hold of this person? Oh, forget it. And they get done.
Yeah.
You know, I'm that way. I'm that way. If I go to a website and I can't figure out the price for something, I'm like, oh, forget it. It's a hose. You know, like you have to make the time is precious to people. Honor their time, make it very easy for them.
Yeah. I mean, really, and that's kind of I think the thing that also is a turnoff is if it's like, oh, you're trying to get them to do all these other things rather than just fulfilling on the promise, right? We talk about that a lot, don't we? It's like, hey, if you click here, this is what you're going to get. Don't bait and, switch on me. I want the information. Don't try to sign me up to your newsletter and all this other garbage. Like, I don't want that. Like, I want to talk to somebody.
My daughter used to say when she was little, I can't want that. I can't want that. They can't want that. So if you guys don't have any questions about referrals and building your referral network from your YouTube channel, we're going to move on to channel reviews. But you know what? If you still have questions while we're doing the channel reviews, go have at it. This is open. There's no set schedule here. Who did we miss last week? We missed a couple people.
Yeah, I put them in that chat there. Should be good to go. The first one I think we missed, and the second one.
Okay, let's do it. Share screen. Here we go. Is it conscientious? Consensus? Consensus. I'm dyslexic, so I didn't know if it was conscientious or consensus.
Yeah, that's something. I grew up in Laverkin, so
we know about YouTube, we just can't spell.
Yeah.
Oh, but you know what? That's a good point though. Like there are words, and I'm going to give you a perfect example. My channel name used to be Your Real Estate Whisperer. I did not know how many times people could not spell the word whisperer because it's ER at the end. And that made it very difficult to find my channel and my website because it was Your Real Estate Whisperer. People they would just put in Your Real Estate Whisperer, not the ERs. So like be conscious of that when you're naming your channel. Is it difficult for people to spell? Yeah. So that was a little great tip right there. Thank you so much. All right, here we go. We got the channel banner. I have no idea what their channel's about. Wait, why selling senior homes are different? I found that here. You should write that here on your channel banner. Don't you agree?
Yeah, so it's kind of looks like it's cut off. Maybe it was a graphic from like a flyer or something, and then they just kind of uploaded it.
Yeah, there's something missing on the left-hand side here. I would work on your channel banner, and your profile picture should be a picture of you, not of a random logo.
It's a very cold look. Like there's not personable at all.
Yeah. This channel's been around for a while, and it looks like they're about selling for seniors.
Yeah.
Okay, 55 up. That is a great niche.
That's great.
That is a fantastic niche. All right. All
So
right.
so probably a couple things. I don't know if they tried to upload that as like a reel or something, or a short, the very first video, but
Yeah.
it looks, or the
This should be
thumbnail.
in, yeah, this should be in shorts, not videos.
Yeah.
And like these are all like, this should also be in shorts, not videos.
Yeah, they're
And
all,
yeah, and your videos are not quite as long as YouTube. This is like long form. So long
yeah.
form videos should be about 8 minutes or more, right?
Yeah.
These are great videos for like Facebook, Instagram when they're like a minute, minute and a half. Um, but these other videos and thumbnails, these aren't really meant for YouTube per se.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, and I know a lot of people think, oh, I'm not going to get people to watch an 8-minute video. Like there's
Mhm.
no way. Like and granted, if you've been on like Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, yeah, it really is hard to get someone to watch for 8 minutes because of the platform that they're on. But when you're
Mhm.
on YouTube, like YouTube, people are on that for hours and hours. Like it's not a it's a totally different demographic as far as like what their behavior is than on Facebook. Facebook is like, hey, I'm going to just see what's going on, burn through a bunch of stuff. YouTube is like, they're there to learn something, they're there to be entertained, they're there to enjoy something. Like it's replacing TV. Like that's
Mhm.
really what it comes down to. Is, and you think about how many hours people watch TV, YouTube is, and a lot of people, even seniors, actually probably more, are getting these smart TVs and watching YouTube on their TVs.
Yep. That's exactly right. So yeah, so I would work on your like the length of your videos. Think about it as a television episode.
Yep.
Um, it looks like you've been trying to up your thumbnails a little bit because I was looking at your older thumbnails and those are very difficult to read, but it looks like you're
Hmm.
trying to make them look a lot better. So just some simple rules to know. You shouldn't have any more than 5 words on a thumbnail. This first thing. Second thing, it should be colorful and tell the story of what the video is about in the imagery in the pictures that you use. And thirdly of all, I would always, whenever you're using your picture, make sure it takes up at least like 1/3 of the thumbnail itself. Use the rule of thirds.
Yeah. Hover over the why selling a senior home is different.
Uh-huh.
So the other thing too is if you look at like you're kind of out of frame, like
Right.
you want to be like where your head is, kind of like how we are right here on these in the videos that we're talking, is you want to
Right.
fill up that screen. If you're doing,
You're like this.
yeah, you're kind of down here and then you're giving information and it's like super distracting. So like don't be afraid to be in front of the camera, and if it's connected on top or you're using your webcam or whatever, then adjust your seat so that you're more looking directly into the camera lens. Oh
He
my
spilled the
goodness.
beans.
Hey, you know what's
Yes.
supposed to be hey, speaking of which, where's my audio file?
He's working on it. He's working on it. Matter of fact, he sent me a picture while we were on here. He's
I
working on
just
that
have to
audio
I
file.
just have to bust his chops. We love Neil.
This is another question. It says, what is your best call to action for people to fill out the referral form? I get my most referrals from my live streams. What I do is during the live stream, at the end of all live streams, I say, look, if you're looking for a real estate agent in your area, I'm actually connected to thousands across the country that are good friends of mine. Please go to my website, KristinaSmallhorn.com, click on any of the buttons because they all go to the same thing, and fill out the form. But make sure you leave your phone number because I can't call you if you don't have the phone number. And then they just fill it out. I mean, honestly, the show hasn't even ended and I'm starting to get emails in my inbox. And then on Monday, I make all my phone calls. This is how crazy it is. I have a specific day I answer those referrals. Can you imagine? Like if you an email or something sat in your inbox for
Oh,
a whole week
they're
and you
gone.
did, they would be gone, right? When I call them a week later, they're like, "Oh, thank God, yeah, thank you. I know you're so busy." Every single one of them, not one of them said, "I can't believe you didn't call me back right away." Not ever. and they're always going to another agent because on
Didn't we
Mondays
have
when
one
I
like?
send other referrals.
Didn't we have one where like you're like, oh, I totally skipped, and it was like 2 weeks before you called them, and
Mhm.
they were like so excited.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt guilty. I had missed them. I felt so awful about it. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And they're like, oh, well, I knew you were really busy. And I heard on the live stream you had, your mom hadn't been ill. So I figured you'd get a hold of me when you could.
Yeah.
Can you
That
imagine?
would never happen if you got like a Zillow lead like
I
that.
was just going to say, do you remember back in the day in the Zillow leads? Because I used to
Yeah.
buy them and like you had to race
It was like
to the
30
phone.
seconds. If you waited 30 seconds, it was too late. It had to be like 2 rings and you had to answer.
Well, not only that, like this is like way back when they would send the lead out to 5 different agents at the same time. So you had to be the first one to get it, right? So there was 5 other agents in my area that had that same zip code. So everybody's getting the same lead at the same time that came into your email box. And I'm like literally like, like
Yeah.
hitting that button immediately, calling them.
But the thing is that like so they fill the information out, but they still can watch you. That's the thing, is that it's not like you've abandoned them. It's they've got the information, and then they're like almost kind of like starstruck, where they're like, I can't believe you're talking to me. Like I've been watching you. Like you have time to talk to me. The roles like are totally switched.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But you know what? I will say that this channel that we're looking at has something that most people do not when it comes to their YouTube channels.
Yeah.
He has a very defined niche and he knows his avatar. That right there will set you apart, is huge. And you have all the tools in your tool belt to have a very successful channel. All you have to know is how to use those tools to get your channel to take off. It's all there. I mean, you've already
just a couple little things, and the thing is that you don't have to do it all at once. Just like work on one little aspect and get a little better, and then work on the next aspect. But like Kristina said, this is the fact that you already know who you're making the content for is huge. It's
huge.
Just adjusting some stuff.
Oh, look, look at that.
He's using community and everything.
Yeah, good on you. Yeah, so you probably just started doing some community page stuff. Continue doing this. I know no one's answering now, but they will. Keep doing these. Yeah. Keep doing this. Good job.
I would say like his picture, if you scroll down, you see his picture, like swap that out for your profile picture. Put that in there. Like that looks way more approachable than the logo that looks like to be honest with you, that looks kind of like you're in like some kind of commercial or tech or commercial real estate. Like it doesn't say senior living.
I bet you $1 million he set up that logo and banner back in 2015.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, they just need to update it. That's all.
Small tweak,
big peak. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's go ahead and share this tab instead. Sold by Tish. Sorry, I added an R. Sold by Tish, a realtor. Oh, you know what I'm going to tell you? I'm going to tell you something that you can't. Somebody might give you
turn you in
because you can't use the word realtor.
Yep.
On your stuff. Like back in the day, they got onto a bunch of real estate agents that had that in their Facebook business pages. So like I would just put real estate agent just to get yourself out of, and that goes for videos too. Never use the word realtor in your videos because you can get in trouble. Agent. Always say real estate agent. So that way you're not, because you know how like we all say like some real estate agents stink, right? Somebody could take that as disparaging a realtor. But if you said real estate agent, you can't get in trouble. But if you said realtor, then you can get in trouble because we sign a code of ethics and there shouldn't be any realtors that stink there because, it's part of the brand, right?
I get it 100%. Like it's 100%. And you could have that. Like it just cracks me up. I'm just laughing. But it is. I mean, that is a legit thing. But I wasn't laughing at that. I'm just like, there's lots of realtors. Realtor.
God forbid you say it wrong, man.
Yeah.
Add
the A in there.
Yeah, you're gonna be thrown under the. Oh my gosh, those real estate groups, man. How come nobody can say it? I'm like, nobody cares except for other real estate agents.
Yep.
Just relax, Jan. Anyways, all right. So your about section says, "Welcome to my channel. My name is Tish. I am." All right. So
I am me.
yeah, my channel, my name, I am. That has nothing to do with them. So what I'm going to tell you to do is rewrite this, because you're even saying I am passionate about. What are you doing for the person? Like, what I would say is, you want to wrap this all up again, put it in a little chat GPT and say, instead of using me and I, how can I make this more beneficial to someone that's watching the channel? I want to make it more tailored to what they're going to be getting from my channel, instead of me talking about myself. And it will rewrite it. It doesn't matter if it's at the end, if you want to add some of this at the end of the about section, that's fine. But the beginning should be all about what they're going to get from your content.
Yeah, definitely the soldbytish.ca. Make sure that it like goes to a squeeze page. I would have just like book a call, make it super, super easy. The home valuation, all of the like, get the relocation guide, all this stuff. Like, that's, nobody cares about that stuff. What they do want is, if you're providing value, they want to talk to you. Like, that's just for back in the day, you could get like a email list going, but really what you should be doing is saying, hey, book a call with me, let's talk. Like, it really should be going to your contact page.
Right. So at the beginning of this, there's so many distractions, right? You're already telling them what to search for, but really what you want them to do is contact you.
Yeah.
So
I would, a big button that's right there that just has you can put their name, phone number, and
it's at the bottom of her page.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd get rid of everything else and have just that.
But even if, see, this is even more
buttons. It's too busy. It's too much stuff
many
going
buttons. I would simplify this. There's so many. And then finally we get to this. When I hit that, share the affordable thing, then I finally got to this. This should be your first thing. Can you see that?
Yeah, I'm looking at it, but I'm wondering, is that just sending them like a just listed like foreclosure list? Is that even like,
yeah,
that's even too much stuff.
Yep. I would simplify your website. We talked about this. This would be great for you to grab your own, leads, but also for referrals. Like, you've complicated it. And I've done it, like, honest to God, like, we're not crapping on you, because I've literally done this. I used to have so many fancy, stupid things on my website, and I thought I was doing the right thing, because all these web designers were telling me that I needed all these things.
Yeah.
So I would just really, really strip this back and make it as easy for someone to use as possible.
And if it's like a database or a CRM, or you're paying a high monthly on it because of the IDX and everything, personally, I would just be like, nah, nix it, save that money, and then get a simple like website, and have like a Wix site, or something where you can get a landing page, put it up there in a really a couple minutes, build something out that will be so much more effective than what you have right here.
And even with your office websites, I'm guilty of this too. Like, just using what the office provides, because they're like, oh, this is so innovative. I've heard this. We have the most innovative websites. I mean, it's going to be great. It's, you can use it for CRM, blah, 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 blah. I'm telling you, the best conversions that I've ever gotten from going from YouTube to my inbox is what Joe said. Simple Wix website. They only have 2 things they can do, and it belongs to me. So if my brokerage tomorrow just decides, you know what, we're selling all off and we're shutting down everything, that you had access to, my business is not screwed. I'm totally fine. And you should always, that's the same with your emails. You shouldn't be just using your emails that comes from your brokerage. You should have your own email that belongs to you, that like forever. And that's the same with your website as well. And I know when you're first starting off, you're like, all these little different fees, but to have your own email account that's just specifically for real estate, and to have your own website, is a very inexpensive way to like be free of not being chained to, because you know what, we all change brokerages all the time.
Yeah, and honestly, like if you're like I don't know how to do all this stuff, you could go to Fiverr and just pay them a little bit of money and knock it out. And honestly, it will be so much better than what you're dealing with. Just because ultimately what you want is leads. You want people to fill out the form and you want them to be able to get a hold of you.
Yep. All right, so we're back to Sold by Tish.
So I would simplify, your channel banner is just really busy.
Right. So you don't need to tell them to subscribe. Everybody knows to subscribe. And you wanted, it says your guide for everything pre-construction. That's all it should say, right?
Yep.
And then I would have one image that shows construction. You don't need to have all these other little blocks of construction right behind you. And then you don't need to have your phone number and all that on the banner. That should be in your description in your about section.
Yeah. And they got rid of the links over there on the side.
Yes.
So it's pointing to nothing now.
Exactly. I was just going to say that there is no links that are here that they can click on anymore. So just update your banner, but your profile picture is lovely. Yep. This image on here of yourself is lovely. Just leave it the way it is. Okay. This is a good thumbnail. This is not. And I'm going to tell you why. This is very clear on what it's about. It's Toronto Pros Cons 2024. You could have done a little less words, but it's still very clear and concise. This right here, your newest one, 3 secrets to becoming a first-time home buyer. And then you have to squint in there. Free webinar presented by Tish, sales representative. Too many words. And your imagery does not show what the video title is about. Like, you need to take that all off of there. You're repeating the title on the thumbnail itself. It doesn't need to be like that.
Yeah. And your keyword stuffing too. So like whoever told you need to make sure so that Google knows, and all this stuff for search, all that does is it hurts you. It hurts your channel. And what I mean is in your titles. So your titles are, the best Toronto pros and cons 2024, living in Toronto, moving to, and then if you click on it, probably says Toronto. So like that's called keyword stuffing. You don't need any of that stuff. Plus your thumbnail already is talking about Toronto. So you have a missed opportunity to actually engage them and get them to want to click it even more. But now it's like, there's not really too much, it's not juicy to where I'm like, ooh, what is she really going to talk about?
Right. This thumbnail almost got it. Almost
super close.
Super close. Take that logo off. That's on the left-hand corner. Take it off. And then just tuck the numbers behind the roof line of that house. Yeah. Other than that, spot on.
Perfect. You can't read really what's underneath what does it say? Losani?
Yeah, it's lasagna, and then what's under that? I have no idea.
Read that. Yeah.
Oh, homes. I have my glasses on. It says homes.
Like Kristina says, just move it. But that's super close.
Yeah, that's a good one. You almost got it with that one. Yeah. So I would just work on your thumbnails a bit more. You kind of have the idea, like the rule of thirds is right on point with this one. You're almost there. You're learning. Just need a little need our thumbnail course that's coming out in the future.
Yeah, you know anybody that's doing one of those?
I might know a couple people that are working on a thumbnail course to help everybody out. Yeah, but you're well on your way. Yep. Okay, so there was somebody in the chat that.
Yeah, I just put it. It's on the last one in the private chat.
Yep. Share this tab instead. We got Keith Lucas, Retirement Life, South Carolina, free book.
I didn't know that we have a musical going on here too.
You know what? Are you advertising your book or you're advertising real estate? That's what I would say. Is this about books? Is your channel about books or is it about real estate?
Maybe they get a book after he sells them a house.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put that in my channel banner.
I'm totally messing with you.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're doing, but I wouldn't have that in there. Like, I would be like retirement life in South Carolina.
Hey, you know what though? He does have a Calendly invite, which is awesome. So you
Yep.
click on it and they schedule an appointment. That's perfect.
Yeah, look, he's been watching. He's like, my channel is here. Yep. Why? Why? I wonder why there's all that space.
He probably has spaces like if you use ChatGPT or whatever, sometimes they'll put dead space in there. So you might want to go in and just delete until you get to the Keith part.
Yeah.
There's
Edit
some,
that out.
yeah, there's some characters in there that looks like there's some hidden characters that are pushing that down.
Yep. Look, that was smart.
Yep.
I would just leave it as book a call with Keith. I would take this other stuff out, but that's up to you. Yeah. Hey, you just started this. He just started in 2021.
Yeah, awesome job.
He's nearly had 1 million views. Like he's halfway there.
He's putting a lot of videos out.
Living on a prayer.
Got 324 videos.
Holy smokes. $10 he's doing shorts. Yeah, he's doing shorts. He's shortening up his content and doing shorts. Yeah, because he looks like he's doing one a week.
Like maybe like repurposing some of them or something.
Yep. I would work on your thumbnails. Mostly, I like your size is good. The size of yourself on the thumbnails is pretty darn close. 1/3 of the screen. But you're not telling the story about what the thumbnail is about. So for instance, retiring in South Carolina, top 8 things you need to know, right? I would be showing a retired couple walking down the beach and then pointing to that retired couple that was holding hands and then write the words no, right? So people would be like, what? Why is he telling them no for walking?
They can't walk on the beach? What's going on? And then you reinforce it with what your title says to then draw them in.
Correct them on though. And I'm all about tiny home. I know all about tiny homes, and I already can tell you what works for thumbnails on tiny homes. If you ever look at my channel right now and anything that relates to tiny homes, I'm either itty bitty, I'm either really small, or I'm not even on the thumbnail at all.
Because the tiny home is big.
Yep, the tiny home is big. They want to see the house. They could give 2 flying flips who we are. So I'd work on that. It was a good idea, though. I mean, it's a smart process, right? He was thinking tiny home in his hand. I mean, he's creative. This is good.
You can definitely see that he's trying different design techniques to see which is awesome. Like to go, okay,
this one's good. This one right here.
Well, and look at the views though. I mean, because
411.
Yeah. And then the next one over, retirement.
You didn't even have to put the real cost. I just put retire here. I would take the words the real cost or the real cost and not retire because it says, but is the video about retiring or is the video about the cost of living?
Yeah, that's 2 different.
Yeah. Yeah. And
then
the
other thing too is like a lot of people, you'll do the outline or you do the point. You don't have to do all of that stuff. Just like what I would do is test it. And this South Carolina one, the talk of the town, you could get rid of that. I would have like a push pin or something, some graphic that goes in there and then have, like something that goes along with like retired, like something that like at a glance, it's like, just reinforces that you're doing that retirement. But is this a 55 and older? Is this a retirement channel? Like what
it's obviously a retirement channel, but you don't have to write retire on your thumbnails and all your thumbnails and all your titles. You don't have to do that because YouTube is smart enough to know they are reading your videos the minute you're uploaded. They already know what you're saying.
Yep.
By the time it's finished.
Yep. The AI has already like understood it.
Yep. And I know that's probably counterintuitive to what you've probably been told or thought. And that is the way YouTube used to be, is that you had to put all of those words in there, retire with every single video. But that's not how YouTube works today. It's much more sophisticated and it's not nearly as dumb as it used to be, So, more engaging titles that's going to get somebody to click on it because the algorithm isn't this foreign being in the universe, right? The algorithm is people watching. And that's what YouTube wants, is more people watching. So if you make content that has good titles, good thumbnails, that gets people to click, YouTube will recommend that a lot more than you stuffing it with the retirement word 1,000 times.
Yeah. You know what though? Like, at least for the most part, he's not saying the same thing on the title and the thumbnail, which is good. A lot of people do
This
that.
is a great thumbnail.
That is a good thumbnail.
Yeah, that's a great thumbnail. Like, whoever's doing these, like try to keep that consistent. Like, you have some really good thumbnails in here. Like, this one's good. Retire here with the push pin. Look at that.
That's a great one.
That is a great thumbnail. It's not the same as this. And then take off that silly logo. Don't put logos on there.
The other thing too that might help you is getting your skin color like consistent, because some of the colors you look a little bit orange, and then some you look washed out.
I bet that's because he's been golfing. I bet you really back. So it's like, because he's been out fishing and then he's all red. I bet
it could be, but like, I mean, you know, with the phones these days, you can really adjust that.
It. Yep. But like, look how much he's improved. Like, honestly, because like, these are not great, but these are better. You know, he's getting better. He's getting better. Yay! Well, I can't wait to see what it looks like in a year from now.
Yeah, definitely has some good traction. So I think Sherry actually is the next one we have on there. So we want to do that. I think that's the last one that we've got. And she just asked the question, how does one get past 50 views on my videos? Well, let's look at your channel, and then.
Did you put it in the chat?
Yeah. It's the first one.
Oh, how did I miss that?
I don't know.
No, the first one is conscious real estate.
No. There's one above that. Did you not get that one?
No.
Oh, maybe you weren't in when I did it. There you go.
Thank you, dear.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do this one. We're gonna share the screen for Sherry. Look at Sherry Jones. Buy, sell, and invest. Realtor in Tacoma Valley, SoCal. Okay, this is one of those things, like, are you a buyer's agent? Are you a seller's agent? Or are you an agent that works with investors? And if you say, I work with everybody, you're not giving good focus for the content you're creating. It's basically spaghetti against the wall. When you're on YouTube, you want to be very specific about the niche and the type of people that you're making content for. A buyer who's buying a home does not have the same frustrations, fears, questions as a seller that sells a home. A home seller, traditional home seller, does not have the same questions and all that an investor would, right? Who is it that you really want to work with? Is it a buyer, a seller, or an investor? And if you say all three, it's going to be a struggle to get good momentum on your channel. But I like her picture. Her profile picture's spot on.
It's great.
Spot on. Yep. And you don't need the subscribe button on there. Let's look at her videos. Oh, she's doing tours.
Yep. So you can simplify these. So I love that you have the pictures on there of it, but make that dollar amount stretch all the way across the thumbnail. You don't need the city. You don't need the state. You don't need California sunroom. Like,
you don't need the border.
You don't need to, definitely don't need the border. Just have the picture, make the skies really blue, like really, really saturated. And then that background, the price point, just kind of going in between the roof line a little bit from behind, and it'll pop off. And then what I would do is give it a little bit more like inside this new luxury house.
Luxury home in suburban.
Yeah. Must see kitchen or something
Yeah.
like that. And then
Right.
not on the thumbnail, but the title, and then just keep the thumbnail very clean. And if you'll do those things and really make it pop, you'll get more views of it.
Yeah. Same with like even here, you don't even have to have your image on there. And then your image here is so small, it almost looks like a mistake. So you don't need, I wouldn't put your image on there. Like all this, the top successful channels that have video tours of homes, they're just showing the house and just showing the price.
Yep.
Yep.
And honestly, like that's all you really need. But this is great. Like you could really get a lot of views, but you have to stay consistent, because it looks like you've got, like, now you're giving some tips, and maybe you're switching to go to a tour channel only, but decide, are you going to be an educational channel or are you going to be a tour channel? They are different and you have different viewers.
Yep. That's exactly right. So just a little bit of focus, some tweaking on some thumbnails, and you are well on your way. Sherry Jones Homes. I like how it rhymes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Sherry Jones Homes. It just sounds rhymey, even though it may not rhyme. Sounds rhymey enough.
If you say it fast enough, it's very rhymey.
Whoops, whoop, whoop. There we go. Hello. Oh, Talk of the Town is a new series within the home channel. Well, awesome.
Yep. I think these are great. Like everybody, like, especially the people that have been watching for a little bit, like they're starting to incorporate the changes, and just those small little changes can make big differences. But like really, if like one of the things that we always tell people is, if you really want to get good and, become a student of YouTube, like learn how, like why people are getting good videos, look for the patterns. And if you see a home tour channel that's doing really well, go watch the videos, go look at their thumbnails, look at their titles, see what is happening, and incorporate a couple of those things to help you. And if you want to speed it up and you don't want to deal with like trying to do it all by yourself, then Kristina and I have a course.
we can fix that. But I will say this. I will say this. If you really want to like take the effort and everything, with these live streams are on our channel indefinitely, unless so you can watch all this stuff. We've gotten messages, this is no joke, that they've reached out to us thanking Joe and I for doing those live streams, because they've already seen an increase to views and call outs to their channel just by watching our live streams.
Yeah.
So we're an open book. We always give out all the information that you need to, including building up a referral business. We really want you to be successful. That's our ultimate goal. So thank you, Joe Eves. And thank you everybody for letting us review you today. If you have any more questions about referrals, just let us know in the next live stream, because we're going to be doing these now every Thursday. It's going to be a 6 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Central time, 4 p.m. Mountain time. So I hope
we'll get all these times figured out eventually. But I actually really like this time for this live stream. I think this is going to be awesome.
Oh, I agree.
Other than I might yawn a little bit more than normal.
Oh, well, I think I'm going to go eat dinner. Oh, look, we got some nice yawny music. You can go to sleep to this.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to go to that.
Yep. Thank you, everybody.
You can send it to me and Kristina, or either one.
Team at realestatevideogeeks.com. If you guys need to email us, do it at team@realestatevideogeeks.com. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye. Be good. Stay out of trouble. Joe, talk